Hello and welcome to the channel. It's the end or towards the end of February and it's the lull before the storm. So the last 2 weeks the weather have been absolutely atrocious. No fishing, and the forecast for the next couple of weeks is atrocious and possibly no more fishing. So we're all capitalising on this one night. It's a Friday night and there's 4 of us here. There's 4 of us here and I've got 2 rods in the water and I'm fishing. What's next? I'm going to get the other 2 rods out. I'm going to fish 4 rods. And there's 4 of us here. So if we don't catch something, if we come out of this brothel sucking our thumbs, there's something really wrong. I've got Clive and Colin to the right. They're specimen ray hunters. They love a ray as well. And they got really tidy, neat gear. They come loaded on the beach carrying next to nothing. I need an articulated lorry to bring all my gear onto the beach. I've got tons of the stuff. And to my right, to my left, to my right is Stuart. A different Stuart, not Sweet Corn Kid Stuart, who's fishing elsewhere tonight, but Stuart, who I've met through the chats and all the other bits and pieces. So meeting new people. Everyone's enthusiastic. Everyone wants to watch everyone else catch fish, but we all want to catch our own. Yeah, so I'm here, fishing, a gap in the weather, really excited. I need to rig the other 2 rods and get them out, double my chances. Don't rain. And it started raining. Rain was not on the forecast for tonight. It was supposed to be dry but windy. It's decided to throw some rain in as well. Good job I put the beach shelter up. So we're in, I broke the blank and I know he's going to go nuts, but a strap, and he's not happy, and I'm going to unhook him and I'm going to get this little critter back, and he wants to spin, but straight in the nose. And that bite was really strange. I was convinced I had a ray on then, and I'm not saying that in any way. It's right, I'm just looking for my T-bar, so I'm going to use a T-bar to get this chap off. Yeah, so that was a really weird bite. A couple of good knocks. Then it pulled it, and we were all stood next to my rod talking. We were chattering away, jibber jabbering. They were taking the mickey out of me because I got my jingle jangle bells on, and I got myself a little strap. So I've saved the blank, and it's not a ting, but I prefer something else. And he's made a right old mess of this. I'm going to get this critter back. One more quick look. Just hold him up gently. A little strap, and guess what? Back it in with his flippy floppy tail. Let's get back in. So just had that little strap, and he's made a bit of a mess of me, to be honest, but with a pair of scissors just trimming off. I've got no pre-baited traces at the moment, which is what I usually like to do, so I thought I'd go through the motions of showing you what I have to do to, if I'm just changing them as and when they need it. But obviously when you catch a strap, they make a right old messy stuff, and this one was no exception. I pile all my bait in the same place so that I can put it all in a bag and get rid of it as I leave the beach. And this is where I'm my own worst enemy sometimes, because I use quite a lot of elastic, and when I use a lot of elastic, obviously it makes for quite a lot of tidying up needs doing. I don't know if you can hear the guys in the background, but that's Colin and Clive just to that side. Stuart's already had a schoolie bass, and I had that little strap. So it's not a sterile beach, and we haven't been here that long. We're all doing our thing, we're all beavering away, and here we go. So I've just cleaned all that up, and just so that you can see where we're actually at now, this is a straightforward pennel rig with 2 size 3/0 hooks, and what I'm going to do is 2 sand eel wrapped in squid. So I'm getting towards the end of this packet, and I'm not being picky with what sand eels come out of it, and I'll show you as soon as I've done this. So all I'm doing now is head and tail sand eel, and again just clip the tail off, clip the head off, and using a dual bait needle and there'll be a link above me to show you how, if you'd like to make your own version of this. And the beauty of it is, I'm not the first person to make these, I'm not the first person to use these, but if you make your own, you can make them to suit the bait that you're actually using, and by that you can make them bigger, smaller, longer, shorter. If you're match fishing, you can just make small little double bait needles for nice little tidy baits. So on the bait needle, it's 2 sand eel on as it stands, and now I'm just going to lash them together with elastic. Innover elastic holder, I do like them, they are good. I wouldn't go away from that now unless something fancy come on the market that really made a big difference, because I've got very used to using these and I like using them. I've used different elastic to use it up, or I've bought cheap elastic to try it, and I've gone straight back to this because I do like it. I really like the Innover elastic dispenser. It's a good little bit of kit. So while we're talking about everything that we've got, I like to keep myself clean and tidy while I'm doing it. It gets everywhere. Mustad baiting scissors. Can take myself a little bit of squid, and this isn't posh squid, or it's not edible squid. I've had some stuff that's edible and it's come from the Chinese food supermarket. But all I've done is I've taken a small, what is quite a small squid to be honest, and that is the flesh that I've got from it. I've just cut it open, lay it across the top of the sand eel. And the reason why I'm going mad for sand eel tonight, all 3 rods have got it on, is there's a bed out there where the sand eel normally live. So everything round here is used to eating sand eel. And all I'm doing now is wrapping that piece of squid around it. I go extra winds at one end, work my way up and along, and extra winds at the other, back to the middle, and finish off. Now I know I use a lot of elastic. Some people would use a lot less than that, but that's how I like to do it. To bait it up, it's still on the needle. I just offer the hook through the bit that I've done the extra windings and back on itself. And now I have to make sure, because that's the bottom hook, that sits there and stays proud. So concentrating on the eye of the hook, I just wrap around the centre. Juice is going everywhere here. That's going to be really good when it's out. And there's the hook there now. And then bring the pennel down fairly close by, but it doesn't have to be exactly right next to it. And take 3 turns, 1, 2, 3, and then go the opposite way to where the other hook's facing, and out. Hold everything tight, pull it through, and this one's giving me a little bit of jip. Once it's pulled through and the hooks are facing opposite directions, just pull the whole thing off, and there we have it. That is a double sand eel with a squid wrap. It looks all a bit scraggy, looks all a bit messy, but it's very juicy. And that sand eel's been frosted, refrozen, sorry, 3-4 times I think now. So while I've got everything here, and to make life easier on myself, the rod is just stood up against the bivvy at the moment, I can show you the rig. So that's the length of trace, quite a long trace, the Namex weight, and I've got the grip set quite strong at the moment, although I'm not having any problems with tide at the moment, so it's probably a little bit of overkill. The rig tubing to help kick it away from the weight, the Imp, the Gemini pulley bead, and then further up the line is the Gemini clip, Genie clip for the up and over. So I'm going to rig this up and get it out, and this is the rod that has got the casting cannon on. So I have used this first rod, it's first time using a casting cannon, and I didn't have many issues with it, to be honest. A nice light thump because it's dark and it's my first time. I'm going to give it a bit more welly this time, so it'll be interesting to see what happens now. So we are, time wise, I think high water's about 8:30. It's 8:30. It's 8:30, this is high water. We were a little bit worried because we couldn't see a tide line, didn't know where the water line was going to come up to, and I've never fished this one before. I've just had a ratchet go. I just had my ratchet go then. Yeah, to not fish this mark before. I can imagine it's beautiful down here in the summer. Lovely sandy beach, but there is sand everywhere. With the bivvy up, it acts like a little whirlwind, and then all the fine sand actually comes in. But it's shielding us from with our backs to the wind as it is. So it's a little bit difficult fishing today, but not impossible compared to what it's been like recently. That's enough jibber jabbering from me. It's time for comments. We all love a good comment, so let's have a look and see what we got. There has been an absolute, I'm going to have to pick through some of this because there has been an absolute influx of comments for the last few videos. Nigel Ackroyd, he found the casting cannons were okay and didn't need to use them when he was using mono, but mainly for braid. That's exactly what I've got them. So I've got them on the reels, or the rods that I use my braided reels for. The 12 foots with the mono on the Shimanos, I'm not putting cannons on. So worth mentioning, I've used a cannon twice tonight. It caught the strap, that was the rod that caught the strap, and I had a light lob first time using, and then the second time out after that strap I fired it out as best I could because I wanted a bit of distance, and it worked perfectly. So very early days for me at the moment, very early days, but I can see they have some potential. The kid thinks it was the last video that he watched was another enjoyable video and is looking forward to seeing the cannons in action. So you see I don't script this, it just comes off as it is. So he's looking forward to seeing how we found with the cannons. I was talking to one of the guys at work, and he does a lot of carp fishing, so he was very interested in cannon for his spodding rod. Obviously repeated casting with braid, heavy weight, the cannon was going to work well for him. Poutmaster thinks a good video, informative and a relaxing delivery. If you guys are enjoying it, then I'm doing something right. I'm not looking to change things. This is the format I've chosen, this is the style that is my style, and if you're enjoying it, happy days. I'm chuffed to bits. Channel's doing really well. 1100 subscribers in 4 months, and only a third of our views are from subscribers. So difficult to talk numbers, but you know, the numbers are there. Nick Mann, he looked at our flounder fishing video. I only caught one flounder that day, but it was a bit nostalgic for me because that's where I used to fish as a kid. And he remembers about 35 years ago, probably about the same time I was down there fishing as a kid, pulling in loads of flounders as well. They've just gone. In one generation, they've gone. And that scares me, that does. That really isn't good. Chris Witherley says he's experienced Rovex tapered shock leaders breaking, and now he uses ASSO. I haven't used ASSO, and I'm willing to give it a go. So next opportunity, or when I come to buy some more, I'm going to give those a go. ADB Fishing likes the tackle talk shed talks, tackle and shed talks. It worried me because I'm a fishing channel, and if I'm not catching fish and presenting fish on the camera, then people are going to turn off. But for some reason it does polarize people. It's a bit Marmite. Some people like the workshop videos. I'm going to do one a month. I'm just going to put one of those out a month, and as long as people like them and keep watching them, then I'll keep doing them. Dave Wilkins, he was talking about the tackle talk. Great video, he liked it, keep it up, and he's interested to see how we get on with the trident stuff. I'll go a little bit early on some of this windy. I'll go a little bit early with the trident stuff. I can't fault it. It's doing exactly what it should do, and it's working exactly as it's designed to. I think it's going to boil down to personal preference, or mix and match the things you like the most with other things. I don't know. We all do that anyway, but I'm using a pure trident pulley rig at the moment, and it's working fine. No tangles, no issues, and it's fishing. Phil Carpenter likes the channel. He's been following since the first Chesil trip video 4 months ago. 4 months ago we put our first video on YouTube. So Phil, really appreciate that loyalty and watching everything I put out. You're a tolerant man. You're a patient man, because I don't always get it right. But he lives 60 miles inland. Phil, if you're coming this way, seriously, if you're coming this way, drop me a message. We'll meet up. I'll take you to one of the local marks. I can organise bait and do all that kind of stuff if you're struggling on passing through. We'll go fishing. Drop me a message and we'll go fishing sometime if you're coming this way. Stuart Crane, he's fishing. He's just telling me about releasing the drag on my reels when I store them. Mechanical sympathy, I should know better. I'm a mechanical engineer. Yeah, totally agree. Should release anything under tension, should release it, and it stores better. He's already had a bass. He's had a shiny silverfish. I've had a strap. Welcome back. 1 minute we're fishing, the next minute I'm in the workshop. It all turned into a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. And then all hell broke loose. When I say all hell broke loose, the wind started to pick up, even though we're in a sheltered position. And with it, the sand. I did a bait change, I checked another rod. When I came back, all of my kit was covered in fine powdery sand. The camera was absolutely smothered in it. My baits were all covered in it. My cup had about 10 mil of sand in it. And at that point, I'd lost the will to live, because I could just see it was going to take an age to sort everything out. Just to tip the balance, I lost another rig. In exact same circumstances that I lost a rig on the last fishing session. So I hooked fast, I snagged up, and then it parted at 5 to 10 mil after the shock leader knot. So I lost 13 metres of shock leader and an entire rig. So, lessons learned. I have learned a lesson and I've made a change. So I've stripped the tapered shock leaders off of the braided reels. I've still left the 18 to 70 on the monos. I've never had a failure with this on the monos, because £18 mainline, £18 taper to £70 at the terminal end. That is staying on the monos for now. I've gone £60 grease weasel, straight through, no taper. And because I've gone no taper, I've had to learn a knot. Learn a knot? What knot's that then? An FG knot. Down our shed sent me a link to an American fella doing an FG knot, but it's really easy to follow. None of this pulling and tensioning and you've got to have it hanging off a rod and all that lot. He does it in his hand in front of you. I've done it, I've followed the instructions, done it a treat. I've got to use it yet, I've got to check that it's good, but I can't pull it apart, and you know, I've given it a bit of Yahoo and it's strong as you like. So fishing, the next 2 weeks looks awful. I'm going stir crazy. I need to catch something significant. I need to get out there, get my gear going and catch something really nice. But for now, just got to go for the windows of opportunity when they're there. So all it is for me to say, tight lines and happy fishing, and I hope to spend some time with you again sometime soon. Bye for now.